Hey guys, what's going on? This is Justin Weck, and welcome to this very first ever episode of Jailbreak Weekly. Today with me, I have my co-hosts Jarek Davis.
What's up, guys?
Andy Hoff.
How you guys doing?
And David, otherwise known as Mac Tutorials 14.
What's going on, guys?
David doesn't have a last name.
Well, I didn't know if he's comfortable with it being... So, anyway. So why don't we just go around the table here and introduce ourselves. So, Jarek, let's start with you.
My name's Jarek. I'm Clever Pone on Twitter. I'm a professional security researcher, so I break things all day long, and I work with iOS devices and get paid to essentially break it. It's fun. I break things.
Okay, very good description. Andy, what about you?
Hey, yeah, so I'm a passionate jailbreaker. I've been in the community since 2011. I have a YouTube channel, Ultimate iDevice Vids. I upload jailbreak tutorials, City of Tweak reviews, jailbreak news updates. I love being a part of the community and giving back to it. I've been doing that since 2011 as well. And I just like the community. I think it's a great group of people, and yeah, I'm excited to talk to you guys about jailbreak stuff every week. Yeah.
And David, what about you, man?
So, yeah, my name is David. I am from the YouTube channel Mac Tutorials 14. I started out jailbreaking in, I want to say, the beginning of 2013, and yeah, I just wanted some more things out of my device. I wanted to be able to do more to my device, and I think that's the underlying thing with jailbreaking, but I wanted to do more with it, and so I turned to jailbreaking. So I'm really excited to be doing this podcast for you guys and talking about the latest jailbreak news and tweaks and all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's good to hear. So my name is Justin Weck. I am CWAC on Twitter. That's S33WAC. I'm a blogger and podcaster for coolblindtech.com. I'm a totally blind jailbreaker, so I deal with a lot of accessibility stuff, and I'm also a very big fan of the jailbreaking community as a whole. So that's a little bit about me. So we had a fairly big week this week in terms of rumblings, if you will, of possible jailbreaks coming out fairly soon. So let's start with the bad news first, because I want to end this podcast on a positive note. Unfortunately, something came up in regards to iOS 9. Do one of you guys want to fill us in?
So I think...
yeah, David, go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, so I think basically the consensus here is the fact that iOS 9 is going to be announced at WWDC, obviously, as... all the major iOS updates do get announced at WWDC by Apple. But this one in particular sounds like this is going to be a huge security redesign, and I think they coded it, Rootless? I think that's what it's codenamed, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's codenamed Rootless, and basically I think it's basically supposed to make it so it's a lot harder to... wait, did Justin just... Oh, Justin's back. Okay. I was just going to say, it makes it so it's harder to be able to get in a device with root access and be able to do things such as jailbreaking and use your device through root. So things like iFile and Cydia and all that kind of stuff really wouldn't be usable on iOS 9. But
And also, sorry.
I was just going to say, but at the same time, I wouldn't say, and this is like a huge point here, never say never, obviously, because
Yeah.
there's been a lot of times with the jailbreaking community where everyone thought that jailbreaking was like gone,
Gonna die. Yeah.
wasn't gonna like ever be a thing anymore. I mean, when Apple first released the App Store back in 2008, right? It was a year after the iPhone released.
Yeah. That's a very good point. So, Jarek, what are your thoughts on this? Because it'd be interesting to hear this from a security researcher's perspective.
So,
what are your thoughts on this?
Obviously, I haven't gotten to play with it, so my opinion now is definitely not finalized, but I find it excruciatingly hard to believe that Apple could actually stop jailbreaks. I don't think there ever will not be any more jailbreaks, and I feel like every security implementation is going to expose a different, equally major flaw. So,
But I just wanted to say, you know, you brought up a good point, and this is like an age-long debate as well, how, you know, a lot of people had said, well, like, there's going to become a point, and it makes a little bit of sense to me because each time, you know, that you're using, you know, that you're making new jailbreaks, you're using and killing off these exploits. And some of these exploits, the community, you know, some of the developers have known about for a long time. And when you're killing off these exploits, what you're essentially doing is, you know, every time you're killing off the exploits, you're making it so, you know, a jailbreak is less and less plausible eventually going down the line because then there's not going to be as many exploits.
But so, here's the thing, though.
There's constantly new features.
That's what I was going to say.
And with each feature and security feature and feature of any kind, there's a new exploit there. So.
Okay, so I just have to interject here, or not really interject,
actually,
just come in, I guess. Okay, well, either way. So, yes, I completely agree. You know, with iOS 6 in particular, it had very little new features. I think that's why it was so difficult, but that took a while to jailbreak. But I was reading an article, I think it was from Cammy Wrights, who's, you know, very popular in the jailbreak community. She talked to
times,
Yes, she talked to, I believe it was Pimskex of the Evaders, and he said even if root access were achieved, some things are blocked, a lot of things are, and the kernel of iOS basically just determines what you're able to access, so even if you have root, it would be even more difficult, and that is scary to me. So I don't know if you guys heard about that.
So yeah, I did read this, and to comment on this from a security perspective view, you just have to find a lower level exploit, which is more difficult, but is much more rewarding in the end anyway. So take that how you will.
basically, depending on your mentality as a security researcher, you're either going to be screwed or you're going to be fine.
Yeah, depending on your expertise as a security researcher.
Okay.
Whether you're a userland expert or kernel expert or bootloader expert or hardware expert, for that matter. There's different layers of security. Everybody's got a different expertise.
Yeah, okay. Well, fair enough. Well, I do actually want to go back to that article on Cammy because she was raising another very interesting point here. And that is, now correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't that article also say that we have, there is a team that has come up with an iOS 8.3 jailbreak, but they've held it back because of exploits and whatnot?
Yes, because they didn't want to burn exploits, but it seems, at least according to this article, that those exploits were patched in 8.4.
8.4, yeah.
Therefore, it's much more likely that we could get one anytime now.
Okay, so what are your guys' Jarek? So obviously your opinion on that is that we're probably going to be seeing one. So Andy, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, obviously, if we can exploit iOS 8.4 and above, I would obviously prefer that over burning them on 8.3 because, you know, particularly with 8.4, if that was exploitable, obviously we'd have a jailbreak for the whole summer. You know, technically we could.
Right, because
but
4 is going to be the last update of iOS 8. So.
Exactly. But if the exploits are patched in 8.4, and you know, if they work perfectly on 8.3, then I would say absolutely go for it, and I'd love that. You know, obviously, if there's no hope for them in 8.4, may as well use them now, sooner rather than later. So yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And David, what about you?
Well, I mean, I really do hope that, you know, Andy brought up some good points as well, that I really would like to see an 8.4 jailbreak rather than an 8.3 jailbreak, because 8.3 right now, okay, like, I'd be okay, you know, the signing window, I'm pretty sure for 8.3 is still being signed, correct me if I'm wrong, right?
8.3 is, okay, 8.4 is in beta. And 8.3 is the most recent,
yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah.
So it's still being signed. So 8.3 is still being signed. So if a jailbreak for 8.3 comes out, let's just say theoretically, even though I'm going to be so wrong about this, let's say an 8.3 jailbreak drops tomorrow, then I'm okay with updating to 8.3 on my iPhone and jailbreaking, you know, using whatever tool comes out. But I'd much rather see an 8.4 jailbreak come out and have to wait a little bit longer for that because, you know, the way the jailbreak worked last time for 7.1.1, I'm pretty sure that's what it was with Pangu. What how that worked last time is that took the duration of the summer. Really, that was on the scene for a long time, and it didn't get patched for a while because it didn't get patched until Apple released iOS 8, and that wasn't until October. So, I mean, we could see if an 8.4 jailbreak got released, we could see the 8.4 jailbreak kind of segueing in all the way up until iOS 9, and then iOS 9 would be obviously the update where Apple goes and patches whatever jailbreak.
Yeah. See, me personally, I honestly, I think that an 8.3 jailbreak would be ideal at the moment. Basically, they have till June 8th. In my opinion, they have till June 8th to release an 8.3 jailbreak. So that's still a few weeks away yet, because June 8th is, as we all know, Apple's WWDC, and that's where, theoretically, 8.4 will drop. So really, I think all that really needs to happen is an 8.3 jailbreak getting released by June 8th, because it's going to be a pain for a lot of people to downgrade and whatnot. So right. I would release it. If I was on a jailbreak team, I'd release it by June 8th, because chances are that by June 8th, you would know if no new exploits has been opened or anything like that.
Right. What I'm wondering is if, I mean, we talked about earlier how that, a lot of these exploits that they supposedly have been patched in 8.4. So I guess I'm kind of answering my own question here. But do you think that maybe, if Apple does release that and releases 8.4 and says, here's a look at iOS 9 and Beta 1 is going to be available for developers and, early adapters or whatever, you can try out iOS 9 Beta 1, starting today, but then iOS 8.4 for regular users are going to be available. That's going to be available to download. Do you think that maybe, there could be a possibility of a jailbreak for 8.4 sometime after it gets released, or are we not going to see that?
It just depends on if somebody has one.
I'd say it's possible, but whether or not they release it is.
I'm saying they update. Let's just say they come out with whatever, and then they update the tool to support 8.4 with whatever exploit.
We get it, but see, here's the thing though too, is the iOS 9 betas are going to play a factor in that, because think about it. So let's say I'm a security researcher in my dreams, but let's say I'm a security researcher. So let's say I have exploits. I have a full jailbreak for 8.4. Personally, I might wait it out and take a look at 9 first, and if it still works for 9, for whatever reason it still works with 9, I'm not going to release it on 8.4 because 9 is still in beta.
And plus 9, with what I mean, it's kind of hard to say right now because we don't know. We've only heard stuff that's going to be the big security update, and it's going to be the Snow Leopard equivalent. I'm pretty sure that's what it. Yeah, the Snow Leopard equivalent of iOS, and it's going to bring about all these changes to and obviously there are going to be bug improvements and everything and good things, but we really haven't heard solid details about any new specific features that will be coming to the new update. So we really don't know enough to say that an iOS 9 jailbreak could be useful over an iOS 8.4 jailbreak. And obviously, in an ideal world, a developer, speaking from a developer's standpoint, if I was one, I'd say that probably I would most likely go for the iOS 9 release, because obviously the whole numbers 9, 8, 7, they're all jailbreaks that if you get a jailbreak like that, you get put into the limelight a little bit, and it's a little bit more recognition, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. But again, it's totally up in the air right now, right? We're just theorizing here.
Right.
So yeah, any other opinions or comments before we move on?
I don't believe so. I think that's, basically to sum it up, we may be seeing an 8.3 jailbreak soon based off of Cammy's article, or maybe somebody else has completely new exploits for 8.4 or even iOS 9. We really just don't know, but that's the latest.
I just wanted to I wanted to say, I know you guys saw this because I don't remember exactly who did it. It might have been Andy, might have been Jarek, but someone posted this in our group chat. You guys saw the that I'm thinking it was Comex. I'm pretty sure it was Comex that he hacked the Apple Watch to get the internet browser on there. Do you know any more about that, Jarek, or anyone care to talk about that?
I haven't seen any more. I mean, the pretty commonly accepted theory is that he bypassed the current version of WatchKit and is just running a native app on there that's pulling WebKit content. But he also could just be displaying content from the phone. We don't really know how he did it, but there's a lot of different ways. So yeah, that's all I have to say on it.
Do you guys think that would? Do you guys think that an internet browser would be useful on the watch, or do you think it's too small?
Yeah. I think it would be because you know, like even just for emails, because that's like, look, honestly, personally, I'd like to have one. It'd be a nice, you know, like with Siri integration, like, Siri, Wikipedia. iOS jailbreaking or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be nice to have, but that's just a personal opinion. What about Jarek? What about you?
I think it'd be cool to have, but I don't see it being insanely practical. Just on the small screen.
I mean, as you guys know, I would love a keyboard, but that's another story.
Yeah, no, I love one. I'm with Andy on this one personally, but
you're not getting a keyboard.
Me and Jarek are like. Me and Jarek are like so against this.
Jarek is spiting me. He says if somebody releases a keyboard, he's gonna like track them down just to spite me.
Just to spite Andy.
Just to spite me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting. So speaking of jailbreaking and whatnot, I mean, then again, that is what
jailbreaking.
I mean, that's not what this podcast is about or anything.
Yeah, what is this jailbreaking thing?
Yeah. What is this? What, you know? No. So, what have you guys noticed anything weird on a certain I Hate Snows Twitter account?
Yeah, right. Well, we did see that, you know, there's been a lot of things that's been thrown around on Twitter on I Hate Snows account that leads to the fact that he might be updating iFaith, and it's more than likely that he's going to be updating iFaith to support, I guess, downgrading devices, newer devices like A7, A6, A8, and that would be like, you know, the iPhone 5, because personally I have one, and then the iPhone 5S, the iPhone 6, obviously, and all the newer devices. So that's pretty big because we haven't had a downgrade at this point for any of the new devices, right? Because the only downgrade we've seen in a while was the LimeRain downgrade, and it utilized the LimeRain exploit, but that was the that was a downgrade that was for like A4 devices. So
there were a couple on iOS 5 that were unrelated to LimeRain, but I mean, basically what it all revolves around, this I Hate Snow thing, as far as I could gather, and just kind of based off of the past, is this supposed downgrade method, which is pretty much subtly confirmed. It's most likely going to rely on SSH files. And that's basically the ticket for the version that you want to go to, and you would have
SSH blobs, yeah.
Right.
You would have need to saved it when the firmware was being signed, or if you're on the firmware and you're jailbroken, you could get them through the root.
Now, granted, most people, I know a lot of people who do save their SSH blobs.
I save all of my SSH
now,
blobs.
I have like a designated folder on my computer. It says SSH.
See, I wish I could, but the problem is that Tiny Umbrella has some issues with VoiceOver, my screen reader, so I can't actually use it.
Yeah,
it really does. But yeah. So I mean, do you guys think there's anything else going on with him though besides iFaith? Jarek, I'm going to start with you.
I don't know. I mean, with I Hate Snow, I don't think anybody's ever really sure. He's really good at working in secrecy, and then only teasing what he wants people to know. So who knows? He could be releasing a jailbreak, but nobody can be quite sure.
Okay, and Andy, what about you?
Well, I mean, just right off the bat, the short answer would be no. However, there's a couple things that would make me a little bit suspicious that something else is up, because if you think about it, if you release this downgrade tool right now, think about it, the updated Tiny Umbrella with the new version that was just released, it hadn't been updated in a long time before that. It was released when 8.2 was the latest firmware. So the only SHSH files you would have been able to save would be 8.1.3, because that was signed at the time, which is not jailbreakable,
Right.
and 8.2, not jailbreakable. So why would he release this now? Because, basically, even if you were, like, super responsible, the only firmwares you'd be able to downgrade to would be unjailbreakable. So that makes me think maybe there's something else, like kind of another component to this that maybe make the downgrade useful. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here?
Yes.
I was just gonna say here that it's been a little while already. I think it's been almost like a month or two since Tiny Umbrella got updated, and now we're starting to hear things about a downgrade again. It kind of just all of a sudden went silent, like there was like no news about it.
Yeah.
So that it led me to believe. I don't know if I still believe it, but it led me to believe that maybe because Semaphore or Notcom, whatever he likes to be called, because he's got like two names, but Semaphore, has been out of the spotlight for a while. He hasn't. I don't think he's tweeted on his account for at least I don't think since like April. So it's been a little while since he's even tweeted. So it led me to believe that maybe he was working on something as opposed to a downgrade, because it made sense since he was gone for like a long period of time and he wasn't talking on Twitter and he wasn't updating his blog. So I figured maybe there was some correlation between that, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's working behind the scenes with I Hate Snow to release an iFaith update. Is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. And another thing that we have to, another thing that you have to, keep in mind as well is that I think Cyrenix might be in the picture here as well.
Yes. I Hate Snow has been talking to Cyrenix about
publicly,
finishing up a design
all over
publicly.
Twitter.
Yeah,
all over
I've
Twitter.
seen
and
that.
There is that connection there because they are both from fairly close, like they live fairly close to each other as well. So there is that connection there as well. So I'm wondering, obviously, if I Hate Snow, who's a security researcher, and Cyrenix is a themer, if they're working together, chances are Cyrenix is probably doing a logo for some project that I Hate Snow has been working on.
iFaith, probably an updated iFaith.
Maybe
logo.
iFaith, but you know what? Like, who knows?
Like, what else could it be?
Well,
What if
okay.
it's
It could be a jailbreak.
I was just gonna say, what if they're making like a brand new jailbreak team with I Hate Snow and Semaphore and all these guys?
I've seen I Hate Snow complain about releasing public work like several times on his Twitter feed. How he doesn't like to do it.
But here's the thing: there was some. I'll have to go back and look, but there was some tweet posted last week from Cyrenix saying, "Oh, at I Hate Snow is working on a jailbreak when," and then he said something like, "I don't know."
His heart goes quickly on my app.
Yeah. So you have to wonder.
Wait. What are you guys talking about?
Cyrenix posted a tweet saying,
what
was it?
I found it right here. It says, "How do you know at I Hate Snow is working on a jailbreak? His heart beats crazy fast."
Well, I think that was just a joke.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Think about it though.
It could have been, but circumstantially, it would make sense that it's
I
also
don't think
not a
it is,
joke.
because if he tweets,
I don't think so.
No. Look at the evidence here, Andy, for a second. Okay, the iFaith account had a tweet, even if it was just a smiley face.
Don't indicate that it's going to come back at some point.
The iFaith account had a tweet. Okay, now additionally, you've had I Hate Snow going publicly talking about downgrades and jailbreaks and stuff like that all over Twitter these past couple weeks.
I think that yes, he's going to release a updated iFaith tool, but I don't think the whole RP thing had anything to do with reality.
I do. I really do, because
I don't know. I think they're just joking around.
Cyrenix has a history of designing stuff for jailbreak teams, though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel we'll probably do the iFaith logo. I mean, if iFaith is updated, but I don't know. This is just something that we're gonna have to see.
Right.
I guess.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Fine. Jarek and David, what are your guys' jailbreak, iFaith, or both?
I really want to say both because obviously in an ideal world you want
Okay,
it to
but
be
which
both.
do you think? Not which do you hope.
But
Which do you think?
I think that it's going to be. I think that at this point, I think it's going to be iFaith because they've been throwing around the possibility of a downgrade for so long now. It wouldn't make sense. Everyone save your SHSHs. They're going to become irrelevant again, or relevant again, and then all of a sudden, Tiny Umbrella gets updated. So it just wouldn't make any sense that they're updating Tiny Umbrella and there's not going to be a downgrade at all. Like, why did he put in the time to redesign it and update it for iOS 8 and update it for for devices that weren't compatible with it, like the iPhone 6 and the newer devices like that? Why would he go through all that effort if no one was going to push a downgrade?
Okay, but here's my question with that. Yes, I completely agree. I think a downgrade tool is coming very soon, but what good will it do anybody? Because the only SHSH files people would be able to save would be 8.2.
Well, see, and that's why I'm saying.
See, and the point behind that is that it would only make sense that there's a jailbreak release along.
So an 8.2 jailbreak released, so you could downgrade to it and then jailbreak?
Very possibly, or even an 8.3. Because, 8.2 and 8.3, or because...
Yeah. I was just going to say, maybe it could be 8.2 and 8.3.
Because, and see, that would tie in with that. See, that's why I'm thinking it's both. And even if it's not I Hate Snow that made the jailbreak, it's got to be, like, he has to have knowledge of it. Because why would he release iFaith if he didn't have knowledge of a jailbreak? Which kind of goes to also prove what we were talking about earlier, that a jailbreak is coming.
Yeah. So, maybe a jailbreak's coming for 8.3 and he's just going to release this for the future. But then there's the question of, can it be patched? So
yeah, but no,
that's a whole other
he has to have.
Here's the thing. Let's keep in mind the whole iBoot thing. That he's been sitting on for how long?
Years.
It's been like
it's been years.
Year and a half or something. It's been at least a year, definitely.
So
it's been a while.
I mean, presumably a downgrade tool would need some sort of exploit that is low level, like iBoot.
And let's not forget too, the Lightning serial cable got I don't know the right word for that, but the Lightning serial cable got pinned out like a couple months back. So I would assume that would be...
I mean that's actually a big part of my work, like my day job right now is with and I mean I'm just gonna come out and say it, like I'm working on security and possibly a jailbreak for the Apple Watch. Like that is my day job. And the Lightning cable is a key part of jailbreaking the Apple Watch.
So it sounds like we may be hearing something soon from you. No, I'm not going to try anything.
I'm just going to ETA. There's no ETA. There's no exploits.
Go hunt Jarek down on Twitter and spam him with ETA messages.
Oh my god!
I'll just drop off Twitter for like a week.
Jarek, I don't think you could ever. Like, okay.
I know, right? See, that's my problem, is I can't not tweet.
Like, I get a live commentary of Jarek's life in his tweets. But no, so Jarek, speaking of the Apple Watch jailbreak, because I think we kind of exhausted the topic of the I Hate Snow thing, but speaking of the Apple Watch jailbreak, Jarek, so correct me if I'm wrong, but 1.01 update was released last week. And correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't that fix a ton of security stuff?
It fixed very many much kernel exploits.
Very many much kernel exploits. So are you recommending that, if at all possible, people should stay off 1.01 at this point?
So I did say that. I did say that publicly on Twitter. But okay. I am on 1.01.
Well, that makes sense, though, because you have to security research it, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
Now, wouldn't it be something if there was a downgrade tool for the Apple Watch?
Yeah.
It would be something. And I mean, it would be very, very cool. But
there is no mention of like a TSS server for this. There's like no mention of any type of...
No comment. Oh, no comment.
I have no comment on anything downgrade related.
Is that no comment like period or no comment like smiley face?
Oh no! Don't put them on.
No comment like winky face.
Okay.
It's just like no comment like
I
That's
knew
it.
it. I know. Okay. Okay. No.
Like
but
I can't say yes and I can't say no.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
We're putting Jarek on the spot here a little bit.
Yeah, all right. Let's
a little
stop.
bit.
Oh,
Let's stop pressuring
yeah,
Jarek.
okay. But no, like it'll be, you know what, like, you know, it's funny, you know, the general consensus I think lately has been that the community has been, oh, there's this big lull in the jailbreak community and all that stuff, but really there's a lot of stuff rumbling just below the surface, if you will, and I think these next few months are going to be absolutely phenomenal, especially with JailbreakCon coming up. It's
Definitely, yeah.
It's I think it's going to be one of the most exciting summers in the community's history, but that's just a personal.
JailbreakCon is going to be very, very exciting.
Yes.
And there will be, to clarify,
With
there
a
will
winky
be a
face.
live.
He says that with a winky face. Don't you, Jarek? You say that with a winky face.
No comment.
No.
Alright, well,
Okay.
I was just gonna ask. Did they say anything about a live stream for this year?
Yes. Sorry.
Main talks will be live streamed.
Okay.
Workshops will not. Just the same.
The same as last year.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm hoping that I'm gonna go, but realistically, I know like there's a 99.9% chance that I'm not gonna go. So maybe I'll hop on Google Hangouts with you guys when you're there,
Yes.
and we'll do a little
Yes.
something.
Well, you know what? Hopefully we'll be able to get you guys. We can't make any promises, obviously, but hopefully we'll be able to get you guys some Jailbreak content down the road at JailbreakCon, some interviews, that kind of stuff. And you know, I can't wait to meet Jarek and Andy both in person. And David, if you can come, that'd be great. But if not, I mean, if you're not able to come, it's totally understandable. But no, David, it's unacceptable. You are
You're off the team.
Yeah.
Good night.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, I think we've had a pretty good show today. You know, just to summarize, we discussed some really good interesting iOS 9 stuff, and some possible jailbreaks down the road. And Jarek informed us that we'd be doing a possible Apple Watch jailbreak down the road. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that. And once again, my name is Justin Wack. You can follow me at CWAC on Twitter. And we had Jarek Davis.
And you can find me on Twitter, Cleverpwn, CLEVRPWN. It was just recently brought to my attention that I can't spell.
We had Andy Hoff, otherwise known as Ultimate iDevice Vids on YouTube. And Andy, what's your Twitter?
Oh yeah, so it's at Ultimate iDevice. That's ULTIMATEIDEVICE. There you go. So that's my Twitter.
We had David Burns, or Mac Tutorials 14 as well. David, do you mind if I use your last name there?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, and David, what's your Twitter?
My Twitter handle is at MacTutorials14 on Twitter, and yeah, so, and also my YouTube is MacTutorials14 as well. So you should definitely subscribe. But yeah.
So, well, guys, it's been a great show. It's been real fun, and stay tuned here as we get closer to some awesome events like WWDC and JailbreakCon. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Later.